Good morning, good afternoon, or maybe good evening, my Beyond Boundaries followers. How are you? This is Rose here, and there, Pedro. How do you do, guys? What, you don't like the way I said Pedro?
No. You're Rose, but
No.
I'm Mr. Magnificent.
Oh, God, get the crap out.
They call it.
Yeah, you my lord.
There you go.
No.
There you go.
That's
Came out of your mouth. So let it be written. So let it be done.
You want me to talk sign language?
Yeah, that's the only word you know.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
How you doing, my beautiful people, my
¿Cómo
beautiful
estamos?
ladies,
¿Cómo
and my
estamos?
handsome gentlemen out there?
I thought you were talking about me.
¿Cómo están mis preciosidades, mis guaposones?
Okay, that's it. Stop flirting.
Well, here we are today. We're going to talk to you about something very interesting, which I don't know. He does.
What do you mean don't know? You know, everybody knows about this.
Go ahead. So, how you guys doing? Good? Yep,
Okay.
me too.
We're going to talk about...
I don't know if you noticed. I'm like kind of
Yeah.
up. I got my vitamins today.
Okay. We're going to be talking about
Uh-huh.
what's the difference between being lonely and independent.
Oh my God.
Do they both tie in? Or is
Being
it two separate
lonely
things?
and being independent.
Okay. I'm going to use an example. Something I'm very observant about things. Very, very observant.
Oh God, what?
Okay. No, in Puerto Rico, there's a retreat called Juan 23, John 23. Very good. I recommend it to anybody. It's a weekend sleepover thing. What you do is men's only or women's only. It's not co-ed. And it's really, really good. Whether you're devout Catholic or not. Wait, leave it.
I'm just doing something.
Okay.
Jeez.
What are you doing?
I'm checking up on something.
No, you can't because... Go ahead. Just leave it there. Go ahead.
Men.
Go ahead. Hurry. Anyway,
Okay, go ahead. Talk to them.
Shut up. Anyway, and I noticed that with these weekend-long retreats, a lot of people go there to congregate, to hang out, which is okay and stuff. There are masses and things that go on. There's prayer vigils and things like that the whole weekend, and it's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But I've noticed that a lot of people, not even old, young people, okay, middle-aged people, go there and hang out because they have nobody to be with. They have very, very minimal friends, if any. Maybe family is far away or they don't get along with them. So their second family, even though they're not close and they don't see each other all the time, they see different people. They relate with other people. They hang out there, and is the only way.
So they're looking for social connection.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the only way they can really survive because these people are lonely. That they're independent, but they're lonely. See, you can understand one thing. And I'm talking about everybody here. We're, as humans, we're social creatures. Okay, so we thrive with being with somebody else. You could be a loner. That's people. I know somebody that's a real deep loner. You don't know them. Or that person. You don't know that person.
I like being lonely.
No. Okay, that's the difference. Everybody likes some alone time. But I'm talking about secluded alone. I know this person that she is so alone. It's a she. She's maybe around close to my age. She, from what I understand, this is from family that have told me this person has always been like this since little. Okay? And it's sad because she's missing out on a lot of things in life. She might have spent time with family, but very little. You know, it's not like, it's like us, we see each other basically almost on an everyday basis.
Yeah, and if we
Almost
don't,
every day.
we'll look at each other through the phone.
Yeah, for years, yeah. I mean, this has been constantly, you know, and it's like she said, we call each other on the phone, video and stuff. I mean, of course, she wants to see all this. Who wouldn't want to? But anyway, regardless, there's a difference, and a lot of people might think one goes with the other. It might, depending, because there are people that are independent and rather be by themselves.
I'm writing something here to tell you guys.
Yeah, she's taking notes while I'm talking. And the thing is, though, can it be something psychological? In some people, yes. And some people, they're just like Grizzly Adams. He left civilization and wanted to be on his own. Grizzly Adams is an old show of a guy that left. I think they accused him of a crime he didn't commit. And he went up to the woods, not to really escape, just to avoid being accused wrongfully. and ended up living with animals, hunting, and everything else, and he was happy. Once in a while, one guy would come in and hang out with him, but he was alone all the time. And some people could do that. Is it healthy? I don't think so. My opinion. I don't depend on people, but I like being around people. This is my thing. You know, I don't mind. I talk to strangers all the time. I talk to strangers all the time, and you know, I'm a person that you come up to me, talk to me, and I'll welcome conversation.
Bet.
You know, so
Sometimes I'm in the car waiting. He says, "I'll be right back." I says, "Try to keep it short. Because don't talk a lot." He goes, "No, I'm just gonna ask something." 30 minutes later, he comes back. I go like, "What the heck?"
And I'll tell you why. Because a lot of times they'll hear my accent. I don't think I have one, but they'll go say, "You're from New York or from Nova?"
Oh, and then he starts talking
And
about
they're from there.
his barrio.
Yeah, everything. You know, I talk about the whole thing. We reminisce. A lot of people here from up north, and we all reminisce.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so want to tell people in Spanish what I say?
And I'm here looking at him like this, like,
Okay.
which I'm actually telling him, "Would you shut up?" Well, anyway,
Yeah,
I think he's a loner.
No, I'm not a loner.
Because when he goes out, he could talk like crazy.
I'm not a loner. That's the opposite of a loner.
Bueno, para mi gente de habla hispana, lo que él te está comentando es que hay gente que carecen de,
Estás solo.
no, están completamente solos, sin amistad, no salen, están encerrados en sus cuatro paredes o salen a trabajar, pero mira, son de los que tienen las gringolas así y no miran para ningún lado. Son gente que le gusta estar sola y yo creo que eso es algo mentalmente mal, ¿sabes? No todo.
Opinión de ella.
Bueno, para mí está mal, porque toda persona debe de relacionarse con otro ser humano, hablar, discutir, ¿sabes? Dialogar de lo que está sucediendo en el mundo o a su entorno.
What's entorno?
Surroundings.
Environment.
Yeah. Y a mí me gusta. Hay momentos que a uno le gusta estar solo en el sentido de que no quieres que nadie te hable, nadie esté alrededor tuyo. Pero esos son momentos que uno necesita para estar solo. ¿Sabes? Estar solo y independiente son dos cosas diferentes. Estar solo es un efecto. Un efecto voluntario.
Okay.
Y estar independiente es una función. Algo
que alguien quiere ser.
Exacto.
Yeah. She was saying about the difference between loneliness and independence is that independence is something you want to be.
Yes, an ability to function
exactly
autonomously. Whatever.
She got a big word.
I couldn't even pronounce it. That's how bad. Anyway, I consider myself an independent woman.
Yes, you are.
Since my first child.
Yes, you are. Before that.
Before that. Actually, you know what?
Before that.
Yeah, I think so.
No,
I would do my things on my own.
Even when you were married, you were independent.
I had to because my partner was not on my same level. And I'm not mentioning level in money wise or
intellectual.
Exactly. It was that we weren't on the same road, like parenthood. We weren't. Yeah, we weren't. His mind was still not as a husband and wife.
Yeah.
Neither was I. That was something we needed to learn. You know, we liked being with each other.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you have more.
But apart from each other, you understand? Yeah. So we weren't in that same level. So it didn't function. He liked being independent with his friends. I like being independent with my friends. So we had our times apart, which I think it didn't help out because he had his days, I had my days, and we would do things differently. And then when we wanted to do things together, we did not bond yet.
Yeah, but then also you have other factors that got in the way as well. So.
Oh yeah, but then afterwards, I guess as days went by, I learned how to do rely on myself, do things on my own.
It's called survival.
Yeah, and as of today, I don't need a man next to me.
Yeah, well, you got one now.
Because we're doing the...
Yeah. Well, it's funny because my father, I think around the age of 8, I know it was way before 10, he took a pair of socks that was about to be thrown out and ripped it, finished ripping it and stuff. And he gives me a needle and thread and says, I need you to mend this sock. And I'm looking at him like, why? Give it to mom, right? I didn't say that, but I just looked at him. And he was like, I'll be back. He didn't give me a time limit. He said, I'll be back. I don't know how much time left. And I sold it. And he looked at it. And he goes, not bad. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, not bad. And then he pulls the thread. He goes, but just so you know, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it correctly. It wasn't bad, he says. You would have survived if you had to repair it. And then he takes a tennis ball, puts it and shows me how to do it. Pulls the thread and then shows me how to put it flat and sew it that way. So I'm looking at him, and my father was the type of person that when he spoke, he didn't need to have a loud voice or low voice or anything. He just spoke in regular room level, room volume, and he ended up catching your attention, your presence and stuff like that, And he says, do you know why I showed you this? And I was like, because you wanted me to fix it. He goes, okay, first, never
you
wear...
need to survive.
Yeah, never wear anything that's broken, like underwear, socks, anything else. No, throw it away. So I was like, okay, we grew up poor. We're not rich. So I'm like, okay, this doesn't make sense, but let me hear him. Because there was always a reason. And secondly, if you ever find yourself in any situation, predicament, or whatever, that you cannot get your hands on a pair of socks or something, that you know how to fix it temporarily until you can replace that pair of socks. And not one sock, you replace the pair.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. And my father throughout life has shown me a lot of things. I wanted to work at the age of 13 because I wanted to, not because we needed the money in a sense. I mean, we were poor, but what I was earning was $25 a week. 2 hours every day after school and all day Saturday. And they were Jewish.
Man,
so
I made more
Sunday,
than you.
Yeah, Sunday they were closed, so that was good because I'm Catholic and I used to go to mass and stuff like that. Anyway,
keep it sure.
Yeah, with that $25, I used to take $10 and give it to my mom, and she wouldn't take it. But then I used to go to the supermarket and buy whatever she needed. It was coffee, tomatoes, so stuff that I know she would buy, I would buy with that $10, and even a little bit more. Then I would take the rest of the money, save $5 for me to save, and then the other $10 I used to.
So you're showing us you're independent.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I ended up buying my first piece of furniture that way at the age of 13. So I like to be independent, to do my own things.
And
Why?
you taught your children to be independent as well.
Exactly. Because I ended up being homeless for a couple of weeks, and I was able to survive. So, you yourself have done.
No,
excellent.
I have 2 children. They're adults already. And I taught the way I taught my children to be independent was giving them the freedom to do things. My daughter would tell me, "Can I go?" I says,
"Yeah,
yes, you could go. You know how behave, protect yourself. I gave her that
the morals and values
exactly, and I would let them go. And all I needed was them to let me know that they were okay, that they got to the place, and then when they were leaving the place to let me know I'm going. So I know that I was going to expect them. If I didn't see that they show up, I know something was wrong.
Yeah.
But thank God, nothing went wrong. My son is different. Boys are different. You guys are lazy. Anyway.
What are you talking about? I used to let my mom know where I was at.
Boys are
That's
different. Like my son, he learned now being married. Because mom used to do everything for him. I mean, he was very dependent. He liked doing things on his own. But today, my son, I know he could survive on his own. He's very independent. Does he like to be lonely? I don't know. I think he does, and
he
doesn't.
His moments.
Yeah, he has his moments.
He
likes to be in a close, like his room is his apartment.
Yeah.
And he has everything. If he could have everything there, he would not come out and bother you for nothing.
Yeah.
And he's very quiet. where he needs to be quiet, and he's very loud when he needs to be very loud. My daughter is very quiet and very so dependent that she frustrates herself.
Yeah.
But you know,
Nothing bad.
nothing bad. No.
Excuse me.
She's very organized.
If you ever need your house organized, she's the one.
She likes cleaning.
She's the one. She has a
I
gift.
do the cooking. She does the cleaning.
She has. I know how to pack bags. Like if I'm gonna go to a trip, I bet you she might do even better than me. Yeah, I think so.
Well, you know, and parents, you need to teach your children to be dependent, and also how to be lonely, because today's world is not a good one.
Well, the thing is, though, being the strong one is lonely. Believe it or not. You know why? Because then nobody thinks that you need their help, and that's not the thing. You being independent doesn't mean you don't need anybody's help. There are times you will. I need her help big time. Big time. The reason I'm like this with her
Estar
is because
solo
she's been there for me.
y independiente no quiere decir, perdón, que ustedes no necesiten ayuda. Mucha gente necesitan ayuda y no se atreven a hablar, pedir. You know, a lot of people need help in anything. It could be
cosa
even.
necesita ayuda.
It could be even helping you to organize your house, clean your house. You know, get your things going. There's people that like my daughter. You know, she likes helping out, and once she has her ways to do things to get out of her way, because when she starts, she don't want nobody in her way. She'll do it in a day. Anyway, lonely and independence are not the same.
Yeah.
Two different actions.
Self-sufficiency is also not the same.
Yes,
It's
not the
different.
same. Okay, so ustedes pueden estar solos, pero también independiente. Ajá. Pueden estar solos, pero independientes.
And only because you have Alexa or Siri doesn't mean that you're not lonely. They don't count.
BMW.
BMW.
You could be lonely too.
What's BMW? The car?
A car.
No, I'm talking about Alexa and Siri.
No. And you could have a car, be all like, ooh, I have a car. You're lonely.
Yep.
You need somebody next to you. Anyway,
so
yeah, a lot of emotions around these days. You know.
yeah, a lot of people,
A lot of people gonna be staying lonely.
Especially the holidays, I say two things. One, if you are lonely, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, are you going to do anything special in the holiday? Because get invited. You could ask. There's something where say, hey, do you mind if I tag along or something?
Today we're thinking of going out, right? And I called other friends of ours, and I asked them, what you doing tonight? And she goes, no, I don't know. Why? I says, how come? Come join us.
Oh, G&J?
Yeah. I mean, come join us. We're going to be a little group. We're just going to go hang out and make noise.
That's our little group.
Yeah, we have a little party
We're
group.
family, actually. We're family.
But we still call each other,
Yeah.
Because sometimes work is not all.
Yeah.
They need a little time to expand their memories.
I enjoy them very much. They're people I respect. And
we just laugh and do silly things. We become kids when we're together.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to be together to be like kids. I watch cartoons almost every day.
Okay.
I like cartoons. I like regular stuff, but I like reminiscing the old cartoons. I like reminiscing and stuff like the Bugs Bunny and stuff like that.
Jetson.
Anyway, so yeah, basically that's what we got into right now. Being that tomorrow is Independence Day, and we're gonna give you a bonus episode.
You probably see a lot of people tomorrow like this.
Oh yeah.
Alone by themselves.
Yeah. Talk with them. Strike up a conversation.
I just go up to them. Hey.
Yeah, strike up. Isn't it a nice day?
Yeah.
Icebreaker. He says, "Oh, I love that blouse."
Yeah,
Even if you don't mean in a sense, icebreaker.
Yeah.
Those glasses are the prescription, whatever.
They
whatever.
need, I like your glasses.
That person
like
might need to talk to somebody too, and you don't know. Because you might see somebody smiling, but they might be going through depression, and you never know. Because I was talking to somebody. Yeah, I was talking to somebody, and they were considering taking some type of action. And I found out 3 weeks later, when that person said, listen, thanks for talking to me that day, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, sure, whatever. It goes, I'm going to confess something. I was like, oh. And sure enough, what came into my mind, that person was telling me, it goes, between you and 2 more people that actually, I don't know why they were talking to me. I said, they maybe was on the same path as I was. And that person went and got mental health.
Mi gente, ve a alguien solo.
Yeah.
Y usted está con alguien, salúdelo, empiece, rompa el hielo.
Yeah.
Salúdelo porque usted no sabe qué está sucediendo en la mente de esa persona. ¿Sabe? Puede estar pensando, exacto. Y al usted hablar, 2 cosas pueden pasar. Usted lo saca a él de la depresión y usted se hace una amistad nueva.
Okay? You know what? I'm going to get biblical in the sense that Jesus said, love your neighbor like you would love yourself. And your neighbor doesn't mean the guy that's next door. It's anybody. Your neighbor could be in Australia right now.
Yeah.
Okay, not that he's visiting because he lives there. That's your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Treat anybody else regardless. And you know what? Is your enemy? Love them more. Mm-hmm. Love them more.
If you're a Christian, love them more. That's what you're called to do.
Trust me, I got people right now. I know people don't like me. I know there's people that don't like me. They might not hate me, but they might not. They don't like me. And you know what?
Dude.
The reason I still is not because I'm a hypocrite. When I treat them right, it's because it comes out of my heart, literally. And you probably think like, what is wrong with you? Well, if I could forgive the guy that murdered my father and other people in my life that have done things to me.
I don't have enemies,
I don't have enemies either. Enemies have me. I don't have enemies.
Those are people that are jealous of who we are.
Yeah, and we're not boosting anything. It's like that.
No, I don't. Envious I don't have. I might not like you.
Yeah.
I might not like the way that you do things.
I dislike people.
I do not applaud what you do.
I dislike people not because of their personality or not. It's because of the things they do.
Yeah, I might dislike them, but I don't have enemies.
But you know what? We don't have to worry about that because that falls on them.
Yep.
Because if somebody's doing something, like for example, you have a kid and you go, let's say, to your aunt's house, right? And you drop off your daughter just because you don't want, she's there with you for the weekend. And, instead of being the father that you're supposed to be, you rather go to your aunt's house and then hang out there just because you don't want to deal with your kid. You know what you're having a kid for then?
I know.
What are you having a kid for? It doesn't make sense. People are lazy. People are lazy. I'm sorry. Anyway, well,
unresponsible. Well, anyway.
We good for today or what?
Yeah, I think we are. I think we don't want to bore our followers out there. Just try to enjoy your loneliness if you need to be lonely.
But don't be secluded.
Exactly. Don't put negative thoughts in your mind.
Definitely, fight them.
And learn how to be dependent.
Yeah.
If you don't, woman, if you don't have that man and you need to do something in your house, try it.
Do it yourself. Man, you don't need a woman.
You know what?
Women, you don't need a man.
Google it.
There's
YouTube it.
In fact, you know what? Just like us, there's plenty of YouTube videos that can help you out.
YouTube it. Guys, there's a lot of how to sew your torn jeans. There's a whole bunch of
well, that's a skill that my niece Puchita hasn't mastered. You see her jeans? She wears ripped jeans.
I know. And they pay a whole bunch for ripped jeans when you could do it yourself.
But my niece rocks them. She makes them look good. So
anyway,
she got style. Of course.
Just love yourself.
Yeah, guys. Listen, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the love you give us. Definitely, please be safe out there this weekend. Okay, there's people that go drinking. You might be a good driver, but the next person, that's what you gotta look out for.
You gotta have 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, looking at the mirror up there to the rear, to the side, and to the side, please. Okay. And be courteous. If you see courteous. If you see somebody coming from the side, don't. If you could, let him in.
The rush is not important no matter what, so listen, guys. Anyway, thank you. We appreciate it. We love you. Take care. Anywhere you're listening from, we value you. We value you.
You got
a
two
lot.
friends here.
Definitely, yeah.
See you
Definitely.
guys.
Okay, take
We're
care.
nuts, but we're there.
Take care. God bless.
Bye. Ring that bell. Ring that bell.